That's what I'm saying. Get a little tattoo. I'm getting my tattoo. You know. It's a hot fire right here. It's that fire. He was just hitting the wrist. That shit was tingling. I was like, oh my god.
We're not done either over there.
Woo! You got a shade over there? We gonna have to.
Smile down.
Rockstar shit.
Just get started with me today. I text
You have to shave there, aren't you?
We'll get started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I think we have to make sense.
Ah! Okay, let's go.
All right, everybody ready? Yeah. All right, let's take this show on the road.
Oh, so now it's shading and I can do it no more?
A couple more lines and then we can.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fundamentals of Investing podcast. My name is Ryan Farley. I'm 16 years old. I go to a performing arts school in New York, and I'm
So,
PPAS.
Jared Donaldson. I'm
I'll put you on the middle.
So today we have our OSG crew here off School Grounds representing. So we have Mr. Dennis McKeezy back. He was our first guest on the show, so we're super happy to have him back. And today, who we haven't had on the show, we have Mr. Dame Dash. We're super excited to have both of you guys here. Welcome.
what's happening? One thing. Did somebody say they went to performing arts
Yeah.
in New York?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look. Alumni. Look, let me show you. My daughter went there.
Hi. Did you go to PPAS?
Yes, I did.
I went
did.
there. I love
Oh my
it.
God.
That's so funny. What's your major?
Drama.
Nice. I was musical theater. I didn't really like that though.
But you would think she majored in drama. You know what I mean? I'm just playing. But no, she's actually pretty smooth. But that's something. Right now, what I'm doing is I did this movie with Kanye, and she came to visit me and ended up starring in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then ended up from there, more shoots based on the people that were on the set. Loved her so much that they have her doing other stuff.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
we're going to have both of them say a little bit about themselves because I can't fit all of their amazingness into, a couple sentences. So go ahead, guys.
What you want me to brag?
Who do you want to get started with, Ryan?
Go ahead. My man, you got your smile going. It's about this. The smile.
And, again, returning guest
you
here
can't stop
on the
smiling.
Fundamentals of Investing podcast. I have nearly 30 years of experience as an educator. Right now, again, unlike the first conversation, I'm having, to be alongside a friend, a brother, a mentor, mogul, everything above, having to share a platform like this with Dame Dash is really, really important to me. So I think this is the first time we've ever, I've done this type of podcast together. We're looking forward to, answering all questions and seeing, what way we can help push your agenda forward like that. But by the way, y'all really look fly, for what we did. And so, by the way, I do need to tell y'all something. I didn't tell y'all something. Dame Dash is the brainchild behind the logo. Dame Dash is the brainchild behind the actual merch. We're not gonna call it merch. It's apparel. We ain't calling it merch. The stuff that you guys are wearing, Dame has been very instrumental in making sure.
I basically designed it. I designed it.
I love the design.
I designed the logo, so it came out of my brain. But some people, in general, you have to always be able to recognize that everything you do artistically is special. So I direct, I act, I write, I make music. I'm a CEO. I'm a dad. I'm a chairman. And when you start doing everything, it becomes normal. You know what I mean? So I've been getting money since I was 15. The wrong way when I was 15, but when I realized the right way to do it, based on the principles that I learned in the street, I was able to use it legally and make history, you know? So the fundamentals in the street are, if you make a mistake, death or jail. There's no death or jail if you do things legally when it comes to making content. So you could go balls to the wall, pardon me, go hard like it's illegal, you know? There's no recourse, except what? You learn. So I understood that if I do it on my own, number one, I'm not gonna wait for someone to tell me I'm good. I'm not gonna wait for anybody to give me something. And I don't wanna work for anybody because I can't give it to my children. It makes no sense. So if I'm better than you, and you ain't made more money than I wanna make, how could you tell me what to do or how to do it? So I started doing things on my own since I was about 18 legally. And from that came Jay-Z, Kanye, Dipset, Kevin Hart, Rachel Roy, Cameron, Lee Daniels, and so many others, just because I taught them the principles and the fundamentals of self-awareness of what you could do on your own and the way you should be living. And not to ever want to be like anybody else, never want to fit into a crowd, and basically the stuff you're taught is meant to really control you, or to control the masses. If you want to be like everyone else, you listen. If you want to do something different, then you got to do it different. And you got to be fresh and fly while you do it. So, you know, y'all young, y'all think you're going to be young forever, it won't last. That doesn't last. I'm 49, I consider myself 50. Trust me, when you're 50, inside you still feel young. Inside you still feel crispy. And outside you should want to do the same, and you got to always do new stuff. It's not reinventing, it's evolving. And that's why I'm on here now. That's why I even care what I got to say at this age. You know what I mean? And that's really what I am, and that's what I do. And the run has just begun. I just started. Everything was life was school for me. Now I'm going to really get cooking. Because now I can help others other than just myself and the people I know. I can help change curriculum with the OSG. I can help change laws. And I have my own television network now. So I can also empower the people that deserve to be empowered. See, what's messed up right now about this industry is if you have an idea, but let's say you want to make a television show. You go to a network, they say you have to go to a production company. Usually, 100% of the time, or 99%, that production company is owned by somebody from another culture. So then the narrative is now changed. And it's not to behoove our culture, it's to behoove somebody else who exploits us. So we have to take control and we have to take the narrative. So I don't want to say too much, but that's basically who I am. And I'm a rock star too, as y'all notice. Because you could be positive and you can make money and you could be fly and you can still fight for love. Ain't nothing I'm doing illegal, ain't nothing I'm doing bad. It's just what I choose to do and have fun.
You got a mouthful there, right, Farley?
Woo! I was doing that because they was hurting so bad. I was like, I'm going to just talk it out until it's done. He just did the red in the, on the wrist. That shit hurt. Oh my God.
That's nice. That was fun.
It hurt. It hurt. Ooh, are you done with it?
No.
Oh, God.
Almost.
Okay.
Well, go ahead, y'all. This is y'all show. Let's go. We here.
All right.
I took that like a champ. I wore that.
So for our whole lives, we've been taught that we need to go to school, get a good education, then, go and get a good job. But based on, the few guests that we've had on the show, it seems like the narrative is different for everyone and people are telling us to do different things. So why do you guys think it's important that we create our own businesses?
Well, number one, why would you not create your own business? Like, why would you want somebody to tell you what to create? Why would you want to create for somebody else? Why would you not want to have equity in something? You get paid, that means you made something for somebody, they fire you, they still get the benefit from your labor, and you don't. It just feels good. There's just no reason not to. You know what I mean? Why would you do it any other way is the real question.
And I think that's a good segue to this game, because I think what people gotta understand is, when you're talking about real financial freedom, when you're talking about the ability to get on a plane and run out to LA and spend 2 or 3 days with Dame Dash, or to fly out to Wyoming to spend some time with Dame and Kanye, having that flexibility of owning your own means you don't necessarily have to always ask permission. You never have to ask them.
You know, when you're a boss, you don't ask. You do what you want when you want. You make a mistake, it's your mistake. Imagine having, like, I couldn't imagine asking somebody, can I go to my daughter's game? Or, you know, can I go on vacation? Or I don't feel well. Or somebody's sick, can I leave early? That is I don't even understand what that could even feel like. That would never make sense to me. And if you make that your normal, then that becomes okay. But it won't feel right. You know, you have to make your normal. Don't let anybody tell you you're normal. Your normal is what makes you feel good as long as you're not hurting anybody. But it should always be to help people you love.
So it's important to be in charge of your own future and be able to have the flexibility to do what you need to do without having to, run it by somebody.
It's everything to be in charge of your own future. Unless you break a law, you should not have that taken from you.
100%.
Okay, so can you talk about the importance of giving back to your community?
I mean, first of all, you have to be able to help yourself before you can help your community. You understand? And that's important. You can't help nobody unless you can help yourself. But your obligation, karmically, that's beautiful. You just drew that? Oh, that's dope. Your obligation karmically is to help the people that help you. You understand what I mean? And when you fight for the people you love, because you understand that you were once one of those people, you are protected by love. And that's the only reason why you go through experiences that are hard, so that, number one, you're strong enough to survive them, so that other people don't have to go through those same experiences that aren't as strong as you. You're chosen to deal with things because you can, and to teach people that can't. It's the only reason why we're here. That is the test of life. If people understand self-preservation, that is the number one way to end up out of here, depressed. If you want to only have a studio apartment, a two-seater car, that means you only care about you. And it won't work. So your community, your family, leading by example, you were only empowered to help those that help you get there. And what helped you get where you got was the experience. You were all put into place for the test of life. Life is meant to be an experience, and the test is how you deal with it. All of our experiences are the same. There's nothing that y'all went through that I haven't gone through, but I just dealt with it different. I might have dealt with it quicker, more vicious. I might have felt more pain so I could get further. It's about how fast you want to get where you want to go. So if I have a choice of being rich next month or next year, and it's like, yo, you just can't sleep for a whole week, and then you're going to get it next month. Or you can take your time and get it next year. I'm not sleeping. I need it now. It's urgent. Why? Because the more I get, the more I can help, and the more I can make and put into other things to make more money. See, I'm into a flip. That's why before y'all said, go fund me. Nah, don't fund me. I fund me. Go fund yourself. You feel me? I don't like all of that. I just flip. I just start little, sell it, and then just keep flipping. But I don't like that. I look at it like charity. I don't like that. I don't need nobody's investment.
And I think, David, I spoke to them a couple of weeks ago about this, is that, who can you help being broke?
Nobody.
When you talk about giving back to the community, what you gonna give back? Nothing. If you ain't got nothing, how you giving back? So I think, taking everything being said and everything we talked about our first episode together, which is real simple to me. You can't help nobody. You can't help nobody if you broke. You just can't. And we're talking about improving a community economically. Again, you need economics to be able to do it. So I'm always going to keep pushing you out to, Brian, I remember the quote that you did that I had posted, that do what you love, but make a lot of money doing it.
That's the trick.
That's my attitude.
Everything I do, I would do it for free. But like, for example, I'm getting a tattoo. I got a camera running. It's going to turn into an article for my magazine. It's going to turn into a whole TV show. Just about tattooing every second. Because everything I'm doing I feel is legendary. it's profitable. But I would do it for free. I'm just making money from having fun.
And that's the thing. You understand that. Having that kind of financial freedom affords you opportunity to, like what Dane would always say, is to do work by the pool. To work by the pool. To come up with ideas by sitting at the pool or on the beach.
Making money while residual income, not to cut you off, Dennis, residual income is the income you want. Equity in something that makes money while you're not working. So when you make a movie and you own it, every time it plays, you make money, whether it's the year after or 20 years after. So I still make money for things that I made before I had platinum, when I had a hairline, all of that. 20 years later, a check will come in for 100 racks, and I'm like, I didn't even move for that during COVID. You know what I'm saying? And that's what residual income is. Now, of course, as soon as I get that money, it goes right back into business because I'm addicted to it. So, you need business, you need money to pay the people that are working for you, and you always have bigger ideas. In business, you're supposed to grow 10% every year no matter what. Never go backwards. At least 10%. In my business, I like to grow 50. You know what I mean? But sometimes it takes a couple of years to get cracking. But once you get cracking, the block never stops clicking. And the way, again, I'm not saying it's the best thing, but what I learned from the street is if there's a demand for something on the block, if I don't have it to give them, they get it someplace else. So I always have to have product. Always make sure you got product to sell because the block is always clicking. So product for you is content. You just have to make sure your content is good. If your content is good, you don't have to promote it. They will line up around the corner and come get it. Trust me. So, for example, we ain't got to promote them hoodies. I just wear them. Y'all wearing them. Now everybody want them because it's good.
Everybody. Yo, and I forgot to tell you, every day I get 10 to 20 people in the DMs asking for OMG apparel. Every day. And so, then now, now we got to put it out because everybody wants them. So we gotta figure a way to get them out there.
And I told them off top, I was like, yo, trust me, it's about to get clicking. Because the samples are good. But also the branding, what OSG represents branding wise, number one is fresh, but you can't be stupid and wear that. Y'all wearing that looking fresh, but it's really because y'all brilliant. Y'all young and ahead of the game. Those are for principals. He gave those to y'all. That's a big deal.
Exactly.
Like, you can't be a knucklehead and wear those.
So this happened last week, right? So I wore this to walk around with my friends, and so one of my boys was like, "Yo, that's tough. What is it?" I'm like, "It's the OSG merchandise. What you know about that?" He said, "Where could I get one?" And I'm like, "Well, it's kind of exclusive, but there you go."
Tell them, you know what you tell them? You know how much those cost in the store? Those cost $120. Like, touch it, feel it. Look at the detail. Look at the patch. Oh, Genesis. Look at the embroidery. Look at the patch on the. All that is important. That all costs to put on. That had to go from one factory to another. It's real art. There's an art in real fashion. That's why we don't dare disrespect it and call it merch.
Exactly.
It's apparel.
It's apparel, y'all. Never let nobody tell y'all where the merch at. It's apparel. OSG deals in apparel.
Every guest we have on here, they're like, "Oh, I want one. And tell Dennis I want one." I'm like, "You gotta speak to him about it."
What I do for work every day is I coach and I mentor principals all across the globe. But to as a mentor, you need a mentor, you need a coach. That's so important for me to say that I got Dean Dad as a mentor and as a coach, as a brother, as a friend that can basically teach me all that he knows about this type of stuff. So I never thought about apparel. I just saw Rockaway and just thought Rockaway was a joint. Like, I loved it. But when they put his mind to this, I'm telling you, he just took it to another level. I saw something, I didn't see it this way. And I didn't realize that keeping it so simple was going to be such a huge hit. I really didn't. Because, you know, sometimes in our community, we flash, we like to be extra with it. But as you can see with that apparel, like, it's simple. That anybody can wear it who literally understands what it's about. They put it back. Yo, smart people wear that. Look on your right shoulder. Look on your right sleeve. What does it say? Principles. Exactly. And y'all got it. Y'all got it. So that means y'all in good company. Y'all in good company.
Well, it means you're looked at as the elite because, you know, the older generation, I was so shocked to meet OSG because I didn't think the generation had so many cool people that were caring, smart, but also swaggy, you know, also respected, brilliant. I never talked to so many smart people at one time. I'm used to being the complete smartest person in the room and everyone else being like 10 years behind me to where I got it, you know, it's frustrating. It really is. So talking to them, it blew my mind. And now finding younger people, and this younger generation is about that action. You know, like the OSG is the elite of that generation, but you guys are starting now. Imagine 5-10 years from now, but getting the guidance from principals that get guidance from, you know, tycoons. I almost called myself a mogul and played myself. You know what I mean? Word. You know, I'm like, I'm bugging, you know? But y'all the future. And the future happens to be the present really fast. So get the game and apply it quick. You know what I'm saying? And again, y'all look fresh while y'all do it. Always look fresh. I don't care what nobody say. Be fresh, but you got to be productive while you fresh. Because if you fresh and you're not productive, you fretting. That means your armpits stink because you wore your clothes too many times. You understand what I'm saying? Don't you hate to see somebody fresh, you give them a hug and they musty? I hate that. That's fake fresh. You can't be fake fresh.
Hey, Dave, the other part to that too is you gotta tag on to that is what y'all gotta see is, listen, when you got your own apparel, you ain't never gonna run out of clothes to wear. I can wear a new hoodie every day. I can wear a new t-shirt every day.
Think about Rockware, State Property, Rachel Roy, all that. That's why, you know, the term popping tags came from me, my mouth. Because every day I pop tags because I would wear the clothes and I had 5 clothing lines at the same time. So I'd be like, I leave a pile of tags. I pop tags. You know, I really do that. You know what I mean? And the confidence and swag that comes with really doing something. Like, I really make movies. I really did that. I really put my joint in a festival. I really made some money. I really did that is priceless. And you want to be able to say that for as many things as you can. Like, I could be like, yo, I did a Zoom while I was getting a tattoo. I really did that.
Yeah, y'all, so come on. This is y'all show. This is y'all show. You listen, you mess around, we'll hijack. So y'all better go ahead and jump in there how y'all need to jump in.
Oh, no.
Y'all just have so many good things to say. I was like, all right, I'll let them go. But I feel like sometimes people try to say that when you talk about achievements that you have and all the good things you've done, people say that comes off as like cocky or arrogant. You shouldn't talk about those things. But I'm always flexing my podcast. I'm like, yeah, I'm a co-host on the podcast. Like, I'm happy to say. It's good to let people know.
See, the number one thing that I've learned about the OSG is that they're super humble. And that's the thing I have to be like, yo, you got to explain and express how fly it is to do stuff so other people want to do it. When you're marketing, you're not being humble. You're being strategic. It's not having an ego if you're really doing it. You deserve to be arrogant and nice when you're actually doing something. The people that tell you not to say shit are the people that aren't doing anything. Don't listen to them.
I see Mr. Elliott joined us. Hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, ladies, I wanted to have a public apology to you. I got the diamonds checked, and they were actually really good and real. This were dirty. My fault.
Well, it's MOP, you know.
I'm aware. I was like, you know, I was really happy that you saw that I still had it.
But I was very proud of you for that. I was very humble, and I'm honored that you kept it. I appreciate that.
And I'm honored that they were real diamonds. I love you for giving me real diamonds. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when you said it, I was kind of embarrassed for a second because, you know, I paid for real diamonds. But all I kept saying was, this dude jerked me. I'm mad.
Now, you know, yo, bro, ask my daughter. Cam gave me a chain, and it wasn't his fault. But somebody tricked him, and me and my daughter went to get it checked, and I was like, oh, no. And he was so tight because they tricked him. But it happens sometimes. But those is real. It's real.
And then the value of gold is so high right now. I was like, well,
And it's chunky. The gold is heavy. It's heavy. It's a good piece.
Yeah. Appreciate you, homie. Appreciate you, Nick.
It's all good.
My dude.
So Mr. Elliott, can you tell us a little bit about yourself because you missed when you did the introduction, so you can go ahead and just say a couple things about yourself for our guests.
Well, you know, I've been in the game for a long time, and you know, like I started way back, you know, when hip hop was a baby, you know, and I was able to sort of be a part of a lot of incredible movements, like from all the beginning kind of movements, like even like the golden era, like the Big X Kane era, Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick, all those nights, boom, Positive K. I own the company, and I put out Positive K, Big Hit. I got a man, we got a platinum joint off of that. So I was always a business dude back in the day, like owning my company. Then ultimately, I was very happy to put out my neighborhood hero, the world famous MOP First Family, and we've had a very continuing run behind that, because those are two of the most talented dudes that I've ever had the pleasure of being around. And just all my years of music and hip hop, and I've met some incredible people like a young Dame Dash. And the great thing about meeting the young Dame Dash is that he's the same Dame Dash that I met as a very young, you know what I'm saying, very young, aggressive, very sharp, you know, one of the smartest guys I was able to meet. So, you know, not to go too long about me, but to be able to be in the business that long and see, you know, I see talent. I'm that dude I can look at something and say, that's going to be hot, and I'm good at it. Same talent that Dane has, not to an extent where I can reach to say, that outfit is going to be dope on you. So, in this situation, when OSG came, when Dennis came with OSG, I felt like it was important for me to sort of connect him with a lot of good people. And Dane was literally, in my mind, I spoke to Dennis, I said, you know what, Dane is going to get this. Because if you don't understand what this OSG thing is, it's hard to see what it is.
He just like,
You
listen
need
to
the
this
person
little
of real
part.
visionary to sort of come in and understand it. And Dane was a real visionary, because I told you that it was almost like I was really handpicked Dane, but we was like, the person that's going to take us to the level that we need is Dane Dash. Dane Dash is going to get it. And it was amazing tools I was able to pull off Dane. And the great thing about me and Dane is that we've always had a great relationship. We've never had a situation where people's ever on the wrong side of a conversation. And so, you know, that's what you mean by real relationships. They last forever. And so I was able to pick up the phone and call Dane after a whole bunch of years. Like, Dane, I got a situation. And without even knowing what it is, Dane jumped on the call. And now you see history now is being made.
So which one is he written every single day?
And I'm glad to be a part of it.
Love that. So now that we have all three of our amazing guests here, now we can ask the questions that people really want to know. What advice would you give to people looking to become, you know, self-made bosses, self-made managers and CEOs,
So that's
what
really
advice
just
would you
to
give them?
tighten up.
Trust in
So this
yourself.
not reline the whole thing like
Really,
this. You know,
trust
see how
in
it
You
yourself.
works.
saying you gotta do that?
Understand
Yeah,
Oh,
we can do it next
always
time.
Yeah.
be
And then maybe
your
maybe
greatest
figure in the whole
Yeah.
section.
you and your
So maybe
mindset
take a
is
picture
your
of it.
greatest asset.
Like a
Don't
plan.
let nobody deter you. Don't
You
let
just use it at the
nobody
same
tell
time
you
you do
you're
it?
not great enough.
Plan
Because
for
that's
12 hours ready, I can just
so
rock it.
many older people now
You ain't about to do 4 hours like your pops, you feel me?
is that they're afraid because
It's real
they
tattoo-
don't necessarily believe
OG
that what
tattoo
they do
gangster shit,
and what
man.
they have by way of their own personal asset themselves.
Have you ever seen anybody do anything you wanna do a
They don't
tattoo?
think it's good enough.
No,
So
no.
I would
So
say
that-
you
so that-
again.
Wow,
You are your
what?
greatest asset. Build
On the wrist too.
well, build
Don't let nothing on the wrist.
the rest of your life
Not
on
the
you.
best
Bet
spot
on
to
you.
be trying to be
Don't
on.
bet on nobody else. Don't bet on your boss. Don't bet on yourself. And chances are, if you generally have confidence in what you do, you'll win every time.
Actually, there's no doubt about it. I've never seen anybody bet on themselves and 100% work hard, 100% hard, not the whack 100%, the real one. Like when you really, because if you have a dream, there's 24 hours in a day. So let's say you have to have a job for 8 hours, and you got to sleep for 8 hours. You got 16 hours to do something else that's going to really focus on your dream. And if you have a dream, if you're not giving 8 hours a day to it, then you're not really in competition with anyone professional, because someone professional is on it at least 8 hours a day. So me, some people say I'm crazy because of how much I work. I'm the lazy version of the people that are doing things at a professional level. I'm the competition. We work every single second we're awake until we pass out sleep because we love it. Because we love it. But that's your competition. If you got time to be on Instagram, if you got time to worry, if you got time to gossip, if you got time to play video games, unless you're a gamer, then you don't have no real dreams, not professional ones. But like, it's boot camp if you want to get to the professionals or to the pros. Like, you look at documentaries about Jordan, it's a different mentality. They're not just nice. They think a different way. Kobe thought a different way. I think a different way. I don't do what you do. I work harder than you. I dare you to out-hustle me. I want that smoke. If you don't want that action, then you don't want to be the best. And that's not for everybody. But you ain't going to win. Don't waste your time. Go work for somebody if that's the case. But if you want to win, you want that smoke. You look for problems. The more you learn, the more complicated life gets, because the more responsibility gets given to you. You're a boss because you can deal with problems. But if you think you walk into a scenario ain't gonna be no problems, yeah, get ready to call somebody daddy or Mr. Boss or whatever. And I bet it's gonna be way harder to deal with that than to put that work in and feel proud. And also, you're the most appealing person in the room when you're the strongest and the most illest fighter. So if you want to be attractive to people, you don't pretend you're something you're not. You really have to are. You have to be that which you say you are. Or else you fronting. You're going to be nice clothes with stink armpits. You don't want to be that.
I would say, listen, you got to be the captain of your journey. It's your journey. Everybody can't go on that journey. All right? You got to be the most powerful force in your journey. All right? Because everybody's not going to see your vision. But you got to believe in it so much that as you go through your journey, it'll blossom and everybody else will get along. Even when they don't, you got to go. And never stop going. And just to what Damon and Dennis is saying, you got to be the most powerful force in your journey. And that's how you get it.
Yeah, a lot of our guests, they say you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest your time. You have to invest your resources, your energy, whatever it is, if you really want to be successful. Because if you don't, either you can work for someone who did do all that, who did invest in themselves, and who did spend all their time getting to where they are, or you can be the person that everyone works for. And that's something I think about a lot.
Find yourself a Dennis and a Damon dad in your life. You find them too in your life.
Lucky for us, we actually have gaming in our lives.
Well,
You get it.
well, the good thing about Dennis is he makes education look aspirational, and that's what's important. You know, you see, they driving cars, they farming, they leather, and education got them that. But, you know, not the education that everybody tells you. Actually being an entrepreneur about education and controlling the narrative. But, you know, it's rare you see a principal pull up with all them cars and be fronting and having fresh clothes and all that and be swagged out. And like Akbar Jordan, I think he gonna cut all your young. That principal is fresh right there. Akbar is fresh.
You should talk about how fresh you are. You should show them what's over there.
What? Oh,
Your suits.
Let me. You want to see fresh? You know, I was just doing that. I just got the whole. I just did 4 hours. So also, when you get real fresh, I like to make my own clothes. Did they hit?
Yeah.
Oh, so my tailor just walked in. Look at that. So here's the new way. I decided to make. What's up, bro? I decided to make corduroys. Oh my God! Look at that. Oh, with the corduroy pants. Look, I got the corduroy shorts on them too. You got the shorts too, right? Look.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
fresh.
Ava. Go in here. We're in here for the magazine. Actually.
Thank you. Hi, sorry. I was getting on the side. How's it look?
Yeah, good. Yeah, some of those cover-ups are tricky, but the top main one came out good.
That's dope.
Happy with that. I didn't wrap him up yet because he's running around.
Yeah, I know. Shocker. I want to see the tattoo.
Those are, when you film it, those are, we made a whole magazine of random pictures that Rocky took. I made a whole documentary on Vivo, just off of behind the scenes, and the movie, and the music videos. You know, you gotta do all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, and look, he's an entrepreneur as well.
What's
So,
up, you guys?
entrepreneurs tend to only work with entrepreneurs. You know? Also, you have to make sure, like, what Dennis was saying, if you're around a bunch of people
What do you got going on
that
this
don't
evening?
bring anything to the table,
Nothing much. I have to go
then
home.
their energy starts to become
I was
contagious.
telling him, I was like,
Because
4 is like I
energy
was
is
trying to make by
contagious.
4, so
So if you're around a bunch of people that ain't doing the right thing, non-achievers,
got my
Yeah.
spike ball.
you go get that non-achiever
Oh, I
there
was
and
about to
that's
say,
the energy on you.
yeah.
If you're around people that are doing good things,
Yeah, I'm gonna
You're
go
gonna
home and
push
Connor's
you
coming.
instead of telling you not to. They're going to tell you not to be scared. They're going to tell you to be fearless. But you always have to make sure your circle is around your level. Or at least know that if they are around you and they're not at your level, you should be teaching them, not listening to them. But never be taught by someone that has a dimmer light than you. If the light's not as bright as yours, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them.
Cut all the toxic people out of your life. So
Always.
They won't negatively affect you.
Oh, yeah, and then also when you work, sometimes people are good at stuff, but if they trigger you, if they make you mad, if they make you react, if they give you anxiety, then you also have to eliminate them as well. It's always important to eliminate your triggers and work with like-minded people. You know what I mean? So if somebody gets scared and you don't like being scared, and that triggers you, or somebody yells and you don't like that, you have to be able to establish your boundaries. And if they don't respect them, then you have to eliminate them. Because you have to protect your energy before anybody else's. You saw the corduroy suits? Now watch the whole world corduroy. I always like to start styles and tell my daughter about it, you feel me? But yeah, so basically those are the fundamentals. If everyone around you has the same dreams...
You heard that plug? You heard that plug? The fundamentals. You heard the plug?
Fundamentals,
That's the fundamentals. If your dreams don't scare the people around you, then they're not dreams. If your dreams isn't something that someone hasn't done before, then how are they dreams? If someone's like, oh, you can't do that, then it's not a dream. Your dream should be scary. Always dream big because it doesn't cost no money to dream. So dream huge. Don't dream movie, dream Disney. You know? Like, don't make your dream to be to make a movie, to make a movie company that makes movies. You know, sometimes I ask people what their dreams are. They be like, I want to work for a company. I'm like, how is that a dream to work for somebody? You've been programmed to think that's success? That's crazy.
He's right. No, he is. Because people
And you're talking to, and Ryan, you're talking to 3 entrepreneurs in the room right now.
Yeah.
3 of us. None of us got a boss. None of us work for anybody. And we're not saying that that you can't start off that way. We're just saying that shouldn't be your aspiration. Your aspiration should be about being the boss, owning your own, and making sure that you make the decisions that's best for you and your family.
Your dream got to be to buy your mother or your father a house, as well as yourself. That's your dream. Your dream is to take care of the people that took care of you. So, like, you know how important it is to take care of your community? Your mother and your father and your uncle and the ones that watched you and kept you safe, that's your community. And then you go take care of the community.
exactly.
One thing y'all gotta remember about being a
I have a really quick question. So, respectfully, so nowadays black people don't support each other as much as we need to. So how do we get black people to support other black people in businesses?
It's not a nowadays thing. That's a programming thing. We're programmed to fight each other to keep our mind off the oppressor. You just have to lead by example. You know, if you're talking to somebody that has a slave mentality and you're talking a master mentality, they're not going to understand you. If you're talking boss and they're talking employee, they're not going to understand you. If you're talking general and they're talking soldier, they're not going to understand you. Make sure the people you're speaking to are speaking the same language. But not everyone's going to speak the same language, so leave them alone until they do.
And let me jump in and say, like, you know, this mindset that black folks don't help black folks. You got 3 dudes in that room right now who basically have come together to form one of the biggest and probably going to be one of the most successful companies there are. So what I'm saying is that let's not get so wrapped up into believing what you hear. Actually see it for yourself. You're talking about 3 guys who basically came together for one mission, and now we getting ready to make history on so many levels. So let's not. And the last time I checked, Dane, Blaze, and myself are black. So don't believe that. Just find the ones that you can rock with, because everybody ain't gonna have your same mentality. That's what Dane was talking to y'all about. Everybody ain't got the same mentality. So black or white, I'm just saying, if they ain't got your same mentality, they ain't gonna have your best interest at heart anyway.
It's that language.
Let it be about being able to let the stars align. And like I said, me, Dane, and Lays. Again, Lays and Dane worked together over a decade ago. And they still kept the relationship to the point where Lays was able to make the phone call and Dane jumped on OSG and ain't left since. And made every one of us who's actually been involved in OSG's lives that much better. It's been that much more inspiring. And like I said, we black. So don't buy into that mess. It's just like when people talk about, oh, black on black crime. Yeah. Based on what, though? Based on the community you live in, you're going to see black on black crime. If most people in the hood is black, Just like if you go to white America or you go into rural America, when the majority of people are white, guess who's killing each other? Them. So when we're talking about this, remove yourself from the mentality. Dame is in LA, Lays is in Jersey, I'm in New York. Period. We're talking about 3 dudes who are not in the same states.
And OSG is
so fly.
And OSG is 90 black principles, give or take.
Across the globe.
So that's what you wear. You wearing black unity on your chest. So this is the beginning of a new day.
If y'all need to be reminded what it means to support black business and to support black people, always look at that logo on your chest. Look at what's on your sleeve. Understand that this is what this is about. So we basically dispelled that notion that blacks don't support blacks. We dispelled that notion. Look at that shirt, look at them hoodies every day, and you'll see exactly how we did it.
Check this out. I support Dame, I support Dennis, they support me. There you go. Problem solved. And let me say this to you. But let me say this to you though, for real. Like, you gotta understand this. People support success. Work hard, be successful. They'll support you. That's all. It's just that simple. They'll support success.
Exactly. That's why we have this podcast. There's 3 black kids working together to do something.
Exactly.
That's why we're here.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
That's why we're here.
And
right
basically, y'all black owned, black produced, black starred and hosted. So already, don't get wrapped up in what you think, what other people want you to say. It seems to be sexy to talk about, blacks don't support blacks. That's garbage. Not every black is going to support me, and not every white person supports, white people. So let's not get wrapped up in that. Your job is to find people that's going to support what you do and make it happen. Y'all are the example. What me, Dave, and Lays are talking about, y'all 3 are doing the same thing right now.
And I think it would be fair to say that you would rather have people that actually support what you're doing rather than just supporting you to be supporting other black people. Like, you want people to look at your business and I actually like what they're doing. I like their podcast or whatever, their show.
What I like to say is, I'm not rich for a black guy. I'm not successful for a black guy. I'm successful for a human being. All guys. I'm more successful than everybody. You know what I mean? Not just for black, for everybody.
Absolutely. Listen, at the end of the day, y'all, remember this color. The color that makes the world go around is green. It ain't black or white. So don't get wrapped up in that.
That's a distraction. If your work is good, you all right. Don't worry about none of that.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want people to be like, oh, they're black, I guess I'll watch. No, I want you to enjoy the content.
Exactly.
I want you to enjoy it and I want you to learn from it, not just because, oh, they're black, I guess. It's
all of it.
And listen, so I don't know if y'all know, but you guys are trending big time because Dame is also taping this live on his Instagram, and there's a lot of great comments coming through here. There's a lot of people watching y'all, so y'all make sure that y'all let people know what this is all about. Make sure you constantly remind people who's this podcast, who you all are, and stay fly. That's ultimately what I want y'all to take me. Stay fly. Every time y'all get in front of these cameras, stay fly. We're not gonna halfway do that. But when you get a chance to look on Dusko Provincton, later on you'll see how many people are actually watching this podcast with us right now, as you all were doing it. Live.
I had no idea. Well, I hope they're enjoying it. I hope we have some good things.
I love it. Proud of y'all. I'm proud of young Princess, young king. I'm proud.
Yeah, keep pushing, and I got real estate on my network, so just let me know. So you know that your stuff will be seen if it's good. So just let me know.
Absolutely, y'all. So that's the plan now, is to take your podcast and put it on Dame Dash Network.
And then turn it into a TV show.
OSG, under the OSG Network. And understand something. What people got to understand is that Hollywood and the rest of the country shut down for a lot of things. When you own your own company like Dame Dash, you own your own studios like Dame Dash, you can do the things that he's doing regardless of any pandemic or any catastrophic event that happens across the globe. So it's a big deal for you all to understand that this is not just any ordinary podcast. Not taking away from my initial podcast with you guys or any other podcast you've done. What I'm pointing out to you all is that this is very, very real. And I'm extremely proud of what y'all are doing. And I just tell y'all stick close to OSG and watch what happens.
Absolutely.
And that's not because we're dope, but collectively we're dope.
Yes, and we'll always stay with you guys. You guys have supported us from day one, so we're so glad to have you. We're so glad to have your support. It means so much to
Want
us.
some food, bro?
Definitely.
Thank you, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Okay, everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming. We are so happy to have you. Come back.